Storyteller number 4 is James Petersen! Hello, James. Happy holidays, sir. It's good to see you.
I study the graffiti beside the door. It's 2 black slashes. In the upper quadrant, a date. The left-hand quadrant, the name of the unit that had conducted the search. Right-hand quadrant, the number of pets that had been found. Lower quadrant, the number of dead bodies. I enter the house and go to work, attacking walls with a claw hammer. I am dressed for the occasion. I have steel-toed boots, leather gloves, a hard hat, goggles, and a mask, breathing a respirator with 2 filters that make me sound like Darth Vader. The clothes on my back are rags that I had picked up at a Goodwill, because at the end of the day, I will strip off those clothes and throw them into a barrel to be incinerated. 6 months earlier, I had been watching TV and seen a newscast about Hurricane Katrina destroying New Orleans, and how 2 days later, when the levees broke, a 10-foot wave of water, toxic mud, had flooded the towns below. And there were people stuck on rooftops for days, and across the bottom of the TV set was a crawl line. The town of Chalmette, Louisiana, had been 100% destroyed. How could that be? I had lived there as a child. I could have been one of the people on the rooftops. 6 months later, I'm living in a tent city in St. Bernard Parish, part of a Habitat for Humanity effort to reclaim the neighborhood. On the first night, we watch a training video that explains what will be seen. Imagine every piece of furniture in this room around the ceiling being in a cycle rinse of toxic water, mud, chemicals, thrown down on the floor like laundry. Imagine every piece of furniture, solid wood, warped, cracked. If it was particle board from IKEA, it looks like an oatmeal cookie. We will walk into those houses and strip them to the bare bones of studs. We will remove everything in the house. We will tear down the walls. We will cart the debris out to the curb and make 4 piles: sofas, clothes, debris, electronics, chemicals, and a 4th pile. If there is something we think might be of value to a returning family, we put it in a safe place. The camp director goes on. The houses have been uninhabited for 6 months, but that doesn't mean they're empty. You will may encounter, people have encountered alligators, water moccasins, rattlesnakes, coral snakes, cottonmouths, black widow spiders, brown recluse spiders. The bite of a brown recluse spider starts as a red dot, and then it melts your skin to the bone. There are waivers at the back. Please save them. Please sign them. We'll see you in the morning. Oh, yes, and you may find human remains in the muck. 6 months after the search, we are still finding bodies. The next morning, I go to work, and at the end of the day, I take a shower to try to forget what I have seen. The large-scale destruction is kind of awesome. There are boats 20 feet up off the ground in a tree still tied to the dock that had floated from someplace 2 miles away. There are rusted cars in the middle of fields. There is a piano in the middle of the street. Those I can understand, but it's the small details that bother me. You walk into a house and see photo albums turned to a gelatinous mess. The family Bible, a swollen thing that looks like cantaloupe. And it's the precious things that bother me most. I walked into one house and found a turquoise Easter egg, the kind of hollow egg that a kindergartner blows out and decorates, and the artist had signed her name, Kate. I put that egg on the mantle where it would be the first thing the returning family saw. And I hope that they would think it was a miracle and not break their heart. I had grown up in Chalmette, and I finally asked the camp director, where is 51 Pakenham Drive? And he said, cross the highway, it's part of the poor section of town. And I thought, had we been poor? I had been 7 years old. I had a diamond-studded duck and yo-yo. I could shoot the moon. I could walk the dog. I had a genuine Daisy air gun. I could shoot bottles off a log. There were creatures in the bayou, strange magic in the fog. I had not been poor. But I walked down the street, and I found my childhood home. I looked at the graffiti. The family had escaped. And then I turned and looked across the street and saw where someone had made a promise, had painted 3 words on the side of their house: we will survive. And I went back to work to try to keep that promise. Thank you.